Item number 20, loan application to Municipal Finance Authority for Torreon Fire Department.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, Commissioner Freiberger, this was on the last agenda, and I'm not sure that we've discussed this with you, but Torreon Fire Department has been looking for a tanker that can be cross-used as a brush truck, and we found one. We had a demo unit taken out there about a month ago. The department used it for a day, and they really liked it. We have about between $80,000 and $90,000 between some Homeland Security grant funding and their quarter-cent funds, I believe, that could qualify to pay for the truck. The truck is right at $300,000, so we need a loan for $200,000 through the Finance Authority to move forward. One of the requirements of the loan process through the Finance Authority is that we have a letter of approval from the State Fire Marshal's Office to move forward with the loan, and I do have that in my hands. They did approve moving forward with the loan. A couple of other questions that will come up if the commission decides to go this route. One, I need a resolution to authorize the application. I have it here, I did not put it on the agenda. So if we approve the application, I will have you guys sign the resolution and I'll put it on the next agenda for ratification because it has to accompany the application. And the second question would be, this truck that they demoed is for sale in Albuquerque right now. We have a couple of options. One, the commission can decide to go out to bid, which could take 30 days probably to award the bid, or you could purchase off of the HGAC contract, which is the Houston-Galveston area contract it's a statewide price agreement, but it's not statewide because they're out of Galveston. In the past, we have been told that we shouldn't use price agreements that were not based on New Mexico procurement, is what we've been told by state purchasing. State purchasing now tells us to find out from our auditors and from our legal counsel if we can do that. I did contact the county's auditor, and he said it's basically up to your attorney. More and more communities are using the HGAC, and they did send us a list of New Mexico County municipalities that are purchasing off of it. So that would be a decision that I would ask the commission to make, is if you want to buy the truck, do you want to authorize the loan, and how do you want to buy the truck, basically?
Is the truck coming out of the Galveston area?
No, the truck is in Albuquerque, already manufactured.
Okay.
If we went out to bid, this Pete's Equipment, who has this truck, would obviously be able to bid on the truck, but they wouldn't necessarily get the bid. If another production company got the bid and the truck wasn't produced, it could be, sometimes it takes 1.5 years to get those trucks if you ordered it. So it's completely up to you guys, but I think that's a decision that
Are they still be on a time frame for this?
I'm not sure when, Javier in here, I'm not sure when the funding expires from the Homeland Security grant. The fire department allotments roll over. They're not taken back at the end of the year.
Edwina?
Oh, I have a question. Would you like me to ask the podium?
Edwina Hewett, for the record. My question is this: on the quarter-cent tax that you're contemplating, buying a fire truck with, could you explain what all comes off of that quarter-cent tax? From looking at the financial audit that's on the auditor's website right now, it looks like a lot of that money that's being collected on the quarter percent tax has already been utilized for buildings. And I was just curious, is that tax also what's used to, keep the lights on in those buildings, to buy the oil filters and the tires and the belts and the hoses and so forth for the vehicles? Is that what that quarter cent's for, or is it only for like equipment purchases and building purchases?
For the fire departments?
Yes.
The way the ordinance reads is that their fire excise tax is for operations and maintenance of the departments.
Operation and maintenance. Okay, and then, so I guess I would have another question, if you would, please. Do you have like a breakout that shows how much of that quarter percent tax is available for basic operations beyond purchase of large items?
No, I don't. And if I said quarter cent tax, I was misspoken, because this would actually be paid for, the loan would be intercepted from the fire allotment, the state fire allotment. That's why we have to have approval from the state fire marshal's office.
Okay, so is the fire allotment just for equipment only?
No, it's for general purposes within the department. So if it's an allotment to the Torreon Fire Department, it's basically expended as they see fit, as long as it's for fire prevention purposes.
And then I guess I have one more question. For the individual fire departments, is there availability for, like a financial statement per department, per fire department to show the ins and the outs?
They get a monthly budget report, a detailed report showing expenditures and revenues. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested personally, from after looking at the audit, to see the amount of debt that the county already bears. To kind of, I want to try and, yeah, I am running for office, everybody knows that, but as an individual and a taxpayer, I'm very interested in trying to figure out if the tax dollars that are being pulled in from the citizens are being allocated correctly and adequately. That's my ultimate goal. And I think there's a lot of people that kind of are confused as far as county budgeting goes. And I would be very interested in seeing some kind of data on that, possibly if you guys would be interested in doing that, publicly on the website, newspaper, something, so that, everybody kind of has a better understanding of where the tax dollars are going. I think that would probably go a long ways towards eliminating some of the contention that's been in the county if we could get more information.
So you want us to put the budgets in the paper?
Yes, or on the website. I mean, the technology is available.
I believe our budgets are on our website, aren't they?
I don't believe so, and things move around with frequency, so, I mean, that's a whole other discussion. That wasn't my intention to get up here, but what I was trying to point out is, the general public doesn't attend these meetings, they can't afford to come down and sit in the clerk's office to go through data. And it's very confusing. It's very confusing for someone that doesn't follow county business. If you would consider possibly putting together some kind of information so that it can answer questions that folks have about how their tax dollars are being spent and make it readily available.
Well, it is readily available when they walk into the county
Exactly.
manager's office and ask for it.
Okay,
So-
but it's $16,000 to $18,000 annually for income. It's very expensive for people to take a day off work to come down here to do that. And the county has the availability right now to help generate that a little easier for the public. So that's just something I'm asking if maybe you could consider. You could utilize the website a whole lot better than you are at this point, and put some of that data there, and possibly even put it out at senior centers, that kind of thing. It's just a suggestion. But I think that if there's a little bit more openness and a little bit more give back to the community instead of come down to this building, it would probably help eliminate some of the adversarial positioning, is what I think.
Okay, well,
So
thank
it's
you.
just a suggestion, and, thank you for the information on the allotments there.
Just a little bit more, maybe to set your mind at ease, the county commission nor the county manager allocates to the fire departments.
No, I
Tax and Red
understand that.
distributes the 1/4% tax, which goes directly into their funds.
Mhm.
And the state fire department allocates their annual allocation from the state fire funds, and that's how the fire departments operate. So, and we can't spend that money on something that's not a fire purpose, fire EMS, if the department has EMS. So,
Well, and even an explanation of what the line items are in the budget would help people understand the flow pattern of the money coming through the building here. If they knew what, Fund A, how does the money come into Fund A, how does the money go out of Fund A? What's the authorization to move that money around, to transfer it, to spend it? I'm a good researcher, and I do personally have a lot of that kind of figured out, but I would guess a lot of the folks in this audience don't have a clue. And I think that's part of where the confusion point comes in as far as for how the county dollars are being spent. If there would be a way to simplify that for the general public
we can
and
work
make
on
it-
it, but it's tough to simplify it. I
and
mean,
make it more
sometimes-
readily available, I think that would really help in some of the adversarial positioning.
Okay, well, we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we're not on a time frame, I would motion that we go ahead and table this, maybe this is Vanessa's district and get her thoughts. Already spoken with her and she wants to move forward.
She said in a public meeting last month that she wanted to
the allotments, I mean, with our allotments, be able to pay the payments on
And
this?
that's what we asked for. The finance authority does that analysis when they get the application, and the state fire marshal's office does the analysis when we ask them to send an approval letter. If they get this truck, they have the capability of lowering their ISO, which means they would have a higher allocation, so.
Yeah.
It
That was
would
explained to
benefit
me
the
when I
department.
was riding with Jason, it was very eye-opening to be able to learn how the ISO reading did work. But I guess asking your analysis to it, could they make this payment and still continue with the operations that they have now?
Yes, because they still have their quarter-cent allocation, and I don't have an amortization for this loan,
Yeah,
but they're 20-year loans for the equipment, and the way the process works with the finance authorities, you submit the application, and then the financial advisors do their analysis, and they submit an amortization and a resolution to the county for approval, and that'll show us, a full scale of what their payments are each year. And
Madam Chair, based on the trust that I have with the county manager in her analysis, I would make the motion that we approve
Okay.
this purchase.
I will take back my motion to table, and then I will go ahead and second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.